This is First Coast Math Clinic with Lesson 7, Solving Multiplication and Division Equations from Unit 2, Equations and Expressions, with the pre-algebra and algebra focus. So the goal in this video is to solve and check multiplication and division equations. And just a quick review on what an equation is. So an equation is a mathematical statement with an equal sign. So just a couple examples. You have x plus 5 equals 12. Or 15 equals y minus 9. So both these are addition or subtraction equations. So in the previous video, lesson 6, we worked on solving addition and subtraction equations. We have 2x equals 20, so 2 times x equals 20, or x divided by 3 equals 8. In this video, we'll look specifically at multiplication and division equations. So we're going to look at examples similar to 2x equals 20 and x divided by 3 equals 8 and how to solve these two types of equations. Now to solve any type of equation, we have to use what's called inverse operations. Inverse operations are operations that undo each other. So example of inverse operations are going to be addition and subtraction. So addition undoes subtraction, subtraction undoes addition, and multiplication and division. Multiplication and division are inverse operations. They're two operations that undo each other. All right, let's get into some multiplication and division equations. So for number one, we've got 2x equals 20, and whenever we have the number right next to the variable, this is kind of implied multiplication, so 2 times x equals 20. And the steps to solve is our first step is we're going to isolate our variable using inverse operation, and then we're going to check our answer using substitution. So we have 2 times x equals 20. Well, I want to undo this multiplication. What operation undoes multiplication? What's the inverse operation of multiplication? Well, it's going to be division. So let's divide by 2 and divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1 and 1. Well, if I'm multiplying by 1 and dividing by 1, that doesn't change anything, so I don't need to write in the 1. I can just write x, and then 20 divided by 2 is going to give me 10. And now my check. Can rewrite my equation 2x equals 20, x equals 10. Let's replace the x with 10. So I'll have 2 times 10 equals 20. 2 times 10 gives me 20, and I get 20 equals 20. So the left side and the right side are equal to each other. And number 2, x divided by 3 equals 8. So here I'm dividing. Well, how do I undo dividing? What's the inverse of division? It's going to be multiplication. So let's multiply the left side and the right side by 3 and 3. On the left side, this is basically 3 over 1. So the way this left side is going to look, this is basically going to be 3x over 3. And this is 3 divided by 3, which is 1 and 1. So we basically just have x. Again, if we're multiplying or dividing by 1, it doesn't change anything. So we don't need to write the 1 in. And then I have 8 times 3, which is 24. So our answer is going to be x equals 24. Now our check. Take our original equation. Actually, you should start with an x. X over 3 equals 8. And then let's take our x value, 24, put it in for x. So I'll have 24 over 3 equals 8. 24 divided by 3 is 8, so I get 8 equals 8. The left side and the right side are equal, so my answer checks. Let's look at 2 more examples involving multiplication and division. For number 3, we've got negative 32 equals 8y. So we're multiplying a and y to undo that multiplication. Our inverse operation is going to be division, so let's divide by 8 and 8. Again, 8 divided by 8 is just going to give us 1 and 1. We're multiplying and dividing by 1, so it's not going to change anything, so we can just write y equals negative 32 divided by 8. Whenever we divide or multiply two numbers that are opposite signs, the sign of the answer is going to be negative, and then 32 divided by 8 is going to be 4. So our answer here is negative 4. Now our check. Let's take the original equation, negative 32 equals 8y. Let's replace the y with negative 4. So negative 32 equals 8 times negative 4. And then negative 32 equals 8 times negative 4 is negative 32. The left side and the right side are equal to each other, so our answer checks. And then number 4, we've got negative y over 12 equals negative 15. When we have something like this, the way I like to do this is we can kind of move that negative sign around. I like to attach the negative sign with the denominator. So this is basically like y over negative 12 equals negative 15. And the reason I like to do that is because when we could multiply each side, then we multiply the left and the right side by a negative 12 and a negative 12, right? So the negative and the 12 cancel out on the left. So on that left side, we wind up getting like negative 12y over negative 12. Negative 12 divided by negative 12, that's just 1 and 1, so we're left basically with just y. And then negative 15 times negative 12, we're multiplying two numbers that are the same sign. So the sign of our answer is going to be positive, and it's going to be positive 180, so we'll get 180. Now in our check, take our original equation, y over negative 12 equals negative 15. Let's take the 180, put it in for y. So we'll do 180 over negative 12 equals negative 15. 180 divided by negative 12, we're dividing two numbers that are opposite signs. So the sign is always going to be negative when we divide two numbers that are opposite signs. 180 divided by 12 is 15, and we get negative 15 equals negative 15. Left and the right side are equal to each other, so our answer checks. And we've got our correct answer at 180, okay? So this was a video for lesson 7, solving multiplication and division equations. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. First Coast Math Clinic.